afternoon, good morning, good evening, everybody. It is Sunday, August 10th, and you may not know what that means, but we've been here before. It's time for the High Risk Wrestling Podcast. I am your host, without any controversy, Jeremy Pierce. Welcome one and all. Check out the socials, Charismatic Creations on Facebook and YouTube, Charismatic_Creations52 on Instagram, and of course the 215 on Twitter. And today's show, well, you've heard that saying before, controversy creates cash, and we are going to be talking about the controversy recently surrounding the WWE. It's a lot, and I'm going to try to keep it concise, keep it brief, keep it quick, and just really break everything down. I don't want to be before you long today, but you know what's next, so just go on and hit my music. With today's list, we keep it simple. These are the most controversial figures in professional wrestling today. And of course, we start with number 5, MJF, Maxwell Jacob Friedman. And he's on this list because of the ways he pushed boundaries, the way he steps over the line. And like Simon Miller says, as long as the individual he's going up against is fine with it, then everything is good. He says these things to get the heat on him. Maxwell Jacob Friedman knows how to get heat, and he will always cross the line. He will always cross the barrier, but he also knows that he can get his own comeuppance and he can make a fool of himself. Number 4, CM Punk, the Second City Savior. We know what's going on. From leaving the WWE because of his past issues with Vince McMahon and Triple H, to being out of wrestling for almost a decade, to going over to AEW, making his comeback, and then getting into it with the Young Bucks and Tony Khan pretty much letting him run wild and then making his way back to the WWE. CM Punk is one without controversy, and any feud he's in now at the moment in WWE focuses really on the people that hate him and may not like him, but they keep it professional because of everything CM Punk has said and has done. He is one without controversy. Number 3, Tessa Blanchard. She is here because of her past allegations of racism, of bullying, and really not apologizing for it or admitting to it when I'm not going to say there's been evidence, but people have come forward. Tessa Blanchard is a talented superstar. She is a former TNA World Champion, but as long as she's hired, as long as she doesn't, I want to say, make amends and maybe apologize, and controversy will always follow her. Number 2, Logan Paul. Sorry about that. Logan Paul is a piece of crap. He is a piece of shit for everything he's done from his early days on YouTube all the way up until now with CoffeeZilla and his NFT scam. Logan Paul is trash. And as long as the WWE keeps hiring him, he will always be trash. Yes, I can admit that the talent is there, but when you're a scumbag, you are a scumbag, and that is what Logan Paul is. And the fact that he wants to be almost cheered and liked and wants to be adored, it's never going to happen, because at the end of the day, he is a piece of shit. And number 1, Triple H. Yeah. Triple H is up here for many reasons, from his ties to Donald Trump and MAGA, going to the White House, being proud of being associated with him. And then not only that, his maybe, I don't want to say blatant racism, but his treatment of black superstars. Case in point, let's just look at Carmelo Hayes. But giving into what Donald Trump has said and has made as an edict, the WWE has not acknowledged Martin Luther King Day, Pride History Month, Women's History Month, Black History Month, but they acknowledged the 4th of July. It's very, very obvious why Triple H is here. And as long as he is here, he'll be at the top of that list. We'll be right back. The spotlight is back on, and it's shining on my favorite wrestler in the WWE, that is Bayley. And you're wondering, well, we're doing a show about controversy, so how is Bayley on here? Well, it comes from, in my eyes and even in a lot of others' eyes, the constant disrespect that she receives from the WWE, whether it's being excluded from posters, being excluded from major events. Bayley is essentially a Hall of Famer and a legend at this point, and she's up there with all of the greats, and yet it seems like the WWE just doesn't care. They always see her in that Dolph Ziggler role as a gatekeeper, and she's more than that, just like Ziggler was more than that. And every time the WWE goes out of their way to show their disrespect to Bayley, to not show their appreciation of Bayley, it becomes more and more and more of, well, maybe she should leave. See, I myself personally believe that in 1 year's time, because her contract is almost up, that we will be hearing Davina Rose is All Elite. We'll be right back. Controversy creates cash. That was said by Eric Bischoff, and he believes it so much he wrote a book titled Controversy Creates Cash. And we're doing this show because of the recent controversies surrounding the WWE. It's a lot, and I'm going to talk to you like you are a second grader. That's not to demean you. I'm going to break it down as quickly and as innocently as possible where you can understand it. Controversy has always existed in professional wrestling, whether it's CM Punk leaving, whether it's Vince McMahon buying up the territories, whether it's WCW saying the WWF tapings during the show, whether it's ECW, New Jack. Controversy follows professional wrestling. We have many more from the steroid era to Chris Benoit to now with the WWE, which is what our focus is on. It's about, what you do with that controversy and how you respond to it. Will you suffer consequences, right? So how did we get here? What brought this about? And I'm going to start with WWE's negligence. It seems more and more that they just don't care. They, more often than not, until Vince McMahon got kicked out, that they neglect to give back to the wrestling industry, right? They neglect to listen to the fans. They neglect to actually show meaning, show that they care. And I get it, when you are a multi-billion-dollar franchise, why should you care? Why should you show that, hey, we don't really need to try? So the WWE have a real go at it, and their biggest controversy, and he's no longer here with us, is Vincent Kennedy McMahon. Long story short, Janelle Grant brought a case up against him about his quote-unquote sex trafficking and how she was treated. And it's a really, really strong and powerful case. So much to the point that Vince McMahon had to step down Vince McMahon is no longer part of the WWE. Not only is he no longer part of the WWE, he sold the company. Think about that. I really believe that Vince McMahon was going to be in the WWE until he just died. You know what I mean? And here he is gone from the makings of his own work. So Vince McMahon is now gone from the WWE. And while he was still there making all of these moves, right? He signed a 10-year deal with Saudi Arabia to bring them premium live events, and started out really, really roughly for two reasons. One, the prince or whoever's in charge wanted Yokozuna, wanted Macho Man, and we gotta say, they're dead. They've been dead for a good long while. And then not only that, it gave us, we'll just spend money, and we got the greatest Royal Rumble. We got that horrible tag team match of the Brothers of Destruction versus Triple H and Shawn Michaels, and it was just atrocious. We got Goldberg in a match. I think he fought The Undertaker, and it was just a bad match. And the Blood Money, and here's the crazy thing about Blood Money. It's Saudi Arabia, where they have horrible women's rights and human rights issues. It's not a great country to be in unless you are a man. So it's like, well, how would the woman fare? Well, first it started with Natalya, because it was always going to start with Natalya, and the woman have to be completely covered up. And you're thinking, well, first of all, you think Rhea Ripley and Jade Cargill and Bayley look less attractive covered up in these full bodysuits? You're idiots. But I digress. So the Blood money is always coming in with Crown Jewel and the greatest Royal Rumble. Think about that. The greatest Royal Rumble. A nonchalant event that we just don't care about. But so much to the point that in 2026, they are getting the official Royal Rumble. Let that sink in. And the WWE says, the wrestlers, this show is optional. The Royal Rumble won't be optional. And now we're hearing talk about them getting a WrestleMania. Let that sink in. Wrestling's biggest show might be taking place in Saudi Arabia. Not only that, we might get 2 WrestleManias in 1 year, because all the WWE cares about is the money. Same thing with their new owners, TKO. TKO is the parent company of the WWE and UFC, right? They merged to form TKO. And TKO only cares about profit. If you look at how Zuffa has treated UFC and the fighters, it's atrocious. The fighters barely get 20% of the purse. We don't know where the contract is. They are notorious for not paying the fighters. And now TKO is doing the same thing with the WWE. They are cutting measures. They are cutting wrestlers. They are all about the sponsorship. They are all about the deals. And it's getting to a point where it's very, very, very annoying. TKO, look, they have solid business practices, but sometimes their business practices just aren't good. So then we move over to the mid pay-per-views. Since the merger, the WWE has given us, what would you say was the last truly great WWE pay-per-view? I can't think of it. And I'm saying this because we are getting these 3.5 hour shows, and they're giving us 5 matches. Think about that. For this pay-per-view, this premium live event, 5 matches? How are you stretching out 5 matches in 3.5 hours? And I can tell you how. 1, ads. There's ad after ad after ad everywhere from on the ring apron to the ropes to the mat to the barricades. There's ads in between each and every match, and all of these sponsorships. This match is sponsored by this, and we've got to now acknowledge all of the celebrities in the crowd, and then we get these long video packages in between. There's no reason that for a premium live event I should be getting the same amount of matches as a weekly Monday Night Raw, as a weekly Friday Night SmackDown, as a weekly NXT. And once you notice the bad of the pay-per-views, it becomes very, very obvious. And just all the in between. It sucks. It sucks. So we have that. And then we get to this new ESPN deal. And this all comes from TKO caring more about the money and the sponsorships, right? So what is this deal? WWE Premium Live Events will be leaving Peacock and be moving over to ESPN. Essentially, that means ESPN is creating their own new ESPN app, which will include WWE's pay-per-views, the NFL, and a bunch of other sports, because they're losing Major League Baseball, they're losing the NBA, and they'll probably lose Formula One. So the thing with this is, if you don't have a cable or satellite provider or get live TV with ESPN through some form, right, like YouTube TV, then you have to pay $30 to watch the WWE pay-per-views. Now you were paying $10 a month, and now you've got to pay $30 a month. And here's the thing: the network archive is staying on Peacock. It's not going to in Netflix, where Monday Night Raw is. So get this: to watch Raw, you need Netflix. To watch NXT, you need broadcast television. To watch SmackDown, you need cable because it's on USA. To watch LFG, or LFG comes on, I think, A&E. To watch Evolve, you need to get Tubi. And now to watch the pay-per-views, if you don't have a cable or satellite provider, you have to pay $30 a month. And who really wants to pay $30 a month for a 5-match card? Let that sink in. It's going to get bad. It's going to get really bad, because internationally everything comes on Netflix, the shows and the pay-per-views, and Netflix in America chose not to pick up the rights to the pay-per-views. ESPN is paying $325 million a year, and NBC, right, NBC Universal chose not to match that offer because they had the right to first refusal, and they chose not to do it because the WWE overpromises and then underdelivers. They had the same thing happen with them on Fox, and now what's going to happen with ESPN? Do fans really want to pay $30 a month for a 5-match card for an underwhelming show with a lot of ads? And there's going to be more ads. I'm totally expecting to be commercial breaks in the middle of the pay-per-view. Let that sink in. This is not a good deal for the fans. It's a great deal for the WWE. They just made some more money. And what brought about all of this is the return of Brock Lesnar. Now, Brock Lesnar has been named, I believe, 44 to 46 times in the Janelle Grant case against McMahon WWE. Now, he's not a defendant. He is not on trial. But when you are named for over 40 times, you're involved. And he knows something. And he was gone, excommunicated from the WWE for 2 years. But here's the thing. He wasn't fired. Not only was he not fired, he was still under contract. He was still getting paid. And not only was he still getting paid, he was one of the highest paid wrestlers in the WWE for those 2 years he was away. And now he's back. And now everything is starting to bundle up again. Substack wrote a really, really good article. I highly suggest you guys check it out. It's called Spectacle Over Accountability, Wrestling's Ongoing Trade-Off. It is a beautiful, beautiful read. But I wanna leave you with, I think, the most powerful quote in the article. It is the defining line. When consequences are treated as PR hurdles rather than values, there are no real boundaries, just calculations. If the backlash hits, they wait. If the pop hits, they move. And they did the exact same thing with TKO, with the Saudi Arabia deal, and now with Brock Lesnar. When someone shows you who they truly are, believe them. Believe them. Believe them. The WWE has shown that they don't care about the fans. I didn't even get into R-Truth and how they did him dirty. And now they've shown that they never really cared about R-Truth. When someone shows you who they truly are, believe them. And here's the thing. Will it change? No. Because WWE raises prices. Let me let y'all know something. I love professional wrestling. WWE, AEW, TNA, MLW, NWA, CMLL, New Japan, Ring of Honor, House of Glory, Game Changer. I love professional wrestling. I love going to the shows when it's affordable. And you have to go for affordability against will it be attractive enough for me to go. The WWE is no longer attractive enough for me to go. I can't do it. I don't even talk about them trying to counter program AEW and it's failing. They're coming to Philly again. This Philadelphia is a wrestling mecca. They're going to be at the famous Met. It's going to look beautiful. And they're doing this for NXT. The prices that they want for the NXT show are absurd. And they're coming to Philly a week or two before AEW does the residency at the famous 2300 Arena. And the prices for the AEW is affordable. I will be the first to admit right here, right now, that I am an AEW man. I am a sicko. And I'm happy AEW exists. The WWE can't keep justifying everything that they are doing. And it won't change because the fans are just going to have this fake outrage. Until you stop giving them your money, nothing will change. The way you hit big companies is by attacking their pockets. I don't know what's going to happen. All I know is the WWE is going to keep moving forward. What will you do? That's our show, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Look on the screen what we got coming up. It's a big, big month. Check out the socials, Charismatic Creations on Facebook and YouTube, Charismatic_Creations52 on Instagram, and of course the 215 on Twitter. And as always, Anna J, Chris Statlander, Willow Nightingale, Priscilla Kelly, Isla Dawn, and Bayley. Holla at your boy. Peace.